Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. This is The Scented. We talk about all things fragrance, so if that's your jam, then make sure you head on down and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you guys never miss a video. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing some really great options that are affordable, that are amazing if you love certain fragrances from Tom Ford, like Tobacco Vanille, if you love by Kilian, love Don't Be Shy, and Aventus, of course, and many different fragrances that often are really expensive, but honestly, these are probably some of the best quality smelling versions that I've ever encountered, and they are from a brand called Oakcha. So I have talked about this brand before, and I love working with them because they truly do make really high quality extrait de parfum, beautifully packaged fragrances. The last time that I partnered with them, they did have a little bit of a bottle leak issue. So before I get into the actual fragrances, what I have, what they smell like, and how good they are, I do want to address this because this is really important to me. I felt really bad because a lot of you guys did message me and reach out, and they had bottle leaking issues. Their old bottles looked like this, and they did have bottle leaking issues at the seal, and this one you can kind of see itself is a little bit leaky. And so I spoke to them. Maybe I didn't respond to all of you guys, but I read all your messages and I spoke to the brand, and they did take care of their packaging issues. So as far as I know, they've refunded and remailed all of them. So there was a little hiccup along the way, but the comeback is always greater than the setback. So here we are again with Oakcha and their new beautiful bottles and good packaging this time. And they actually look bigger. Like, they claim to still be 30 ml, but I swear they look bigger. So here they are, the two bottles. This is the new packaging. This is the old packaging. So the old packaging had flush lettering, and it was basically just a sticker on the bottle. Really, it honestly wasn't that well made. The fragrance inside was very good, but their packaging was pretty weak. So they revamped everything, and now the new packaging is actually quite beautiful. Everything is etched right into the bottle itself. They've clearly spent some money to redesign everything to make it work, and they've also released two amazing scents. I'm absolutely in love with these new bottles, and the way that that golden lettering just like shines is so pretty. It's so pretty, and it really looks a lot larger, honestly. I don't know if maybe the bottles are just thicker, but honestly, I've received so many of these bottles and I've checked all of them and not one is leaking. So that issue is solved. So I didn't ditch them. I didn't ditch them because they fixed their problem, and we're back again with two new fragrances, and that is Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy. Both amazing fragrances, both super duper popular fragrances, also both ridiculously expensive fragrances. Now, here's the thing that before I get into them, I kind of want to address. Dupes are a whole world of their own. There are so many dupe brands. I don't tend to work with dupe brands because I like to have the real thing. I'm of the mindset that there are very few factors that will make me choose a dupe over the real thing, but that's because I'm a fragrance fanatic, and I appreciate the craft and I appreciate the workmanship. And at the same time, I'm playing devil's advocate because I realize that there are a lot of people that love how it smells, and maybe the brand doesn't really matter. Like, there's, this debate, we can talk about it all day. But at the end of the day, people want to smell good, and people maybe don't want to pay all of their bank account for a fragrance, and that is absolutely fair. And I'm telling you guys for 1000% that of all of the dupes that I have tried, this brand is the only one that I want to work with. I don't want to work with any other dupe brands, and that says something because I'm really picky in that regard. So Oakcha, like, I really love their stuff. Honestly. The only thing I don't like about them is that it is ridiculously difficult to remember which name equals which dupe. So I'll go through the ones that I do have here. And you know what I'll do is I'll open all of them up and I'll lay them out on my table and I'll show each one to you guys. And then I'll comment on how each one smells. And some of them I haven't smelled before. Some of them I've already worn. But so the ones that I haven't worn, I'll give you guys a first impression and how accurate I think it is. And I'm gonna be 100% honest. If I don't think it's super accurate, I will let you know. Okay, so the first one I'm gonna start with, and I've already pre-sprayed all of them on pieces of paper so they get a chance to kind of evaporate and air out and be closer to what the actual fragrance is on the skin. The first one is called Torrid Day, and this is a dupe of Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, which I also have. So Torrid Day, let's give it a sniff. This is a less sweet, like less of the dried fruit, like honey-esque note that I find in Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille is very strong, very powerful. Like when I have this bottle in the closet, it actually, I can smell it from the bottle if I don't seal it properly. And it's a lot sweeter, denser, richer, and I guess it could be a little bit challenging to wear, but I really love it. I think it's a really great scent. It's for a specific occasion, really. But Torrid Day, I feel like, is a lighter, more wearable, more tobacco-centric, and less of the sweet vanilla facets and less of the fruity facets in the Torrid Day. It's a little bit more powdery. It's a little bit more tobacco-centric, like really a really nice tobacco. And honestly, I kind of do find this one more wearable on a daily basis versus the Tobacco Vanille, which I actually really love as a fragrance, obviously because I have the big bottle. But this is a great dupe. I would say it's probably about 90% similar, but it's lighter, like it's lighter wearing. It's not as sweet, rich, and dense, which I think could be preferred by a lot of people, and extremely affordable, really good quality. So it doesn't have any of the harsh chemicals or anything like that. It actually does smell really well blended. It has a little bit of a drier smell than the original Tobacco Vanille. But overall, I would say it's a really good dupe. I will also say that I haven't worn Torrid Day on the skin yet. I've only just smelled it now. And so as a side-by-side comparison with Tobacco Vanille, I don't smell that sweet honey-esque quality, but when I wear it, I'll be able to kind of like report back and give you guys more detail. The next fragrance that I have here is called Welve, and this is a dupe of Nemer. And this fragrance, it does smell like it has a lot of woody facets. There's a lot of patchouli in here, as well as rose and saffron. It smells like very rich, heavy, more masculine leaning. This is a really nice masculine rose scent. I haven't smelled the original, so I can't really compare, but it does smell really good. I would definitely wear this, but probably on a colder day. And it's more of like a going out scent. As again, like with all of the Oakcha fragrances, I find they are actually like really high quality, well blended. And I have never smelled any Bottega the Victorious. I think they're really hard to find. They're really like, maybe it's more prominent in Europe. I haven't seen them anywhere here in Canada. Maybe in the States they have them, but I haven't actually got a chance to smell any of them. I would love to smell them one day. Yeah, this one is actually like a really beautiful, heavy patchouli with rosy saffron facets. Really nice. The next one I have here is called 1000 AD, and this one is a dupe of Emerald Agar from Atelier Cologne. I really love the original Emerald Agar, which I've smelled many times before, and it has a really cool eucalyptus note along with the oud, and so it's like a fresh kind of oud scent. And this one really smells exactly how I remember Emerald Agar smelling. Now, I don't have a bottle, so I can't do a side-by-side comparison, but from memory, this smells absolutely identical. I love that eucalyptus note. With the oud, it's really special, it's really different. So this one so far of the ones that I've just smelled is my favorite, but that's because I'm a huge fan of oud. And most of these fragrances that I have here, they are masculine leaning. They have a really great selection of masculine scents, like masculine luxury fragrance dupes. So probably 70% of their fragrances are a little bit more masculine leaning. And the next one is called Universe, and this is a dupe of Carved Oud from Thameen. Off the bat, this one reminds me a lot of Tom Ford Oud Wood. Like, this one is almost identical to Tom Ford Oud Wood. This one has obviously oud, it has gaiac wood, it has patchouli, musk, and cedar. And yeah, it's like a really nice dry woody scent with a very similar woodiness as Oud Wood from Tom Ford, like extremely, extremely similar. And you could have told me that this is an Oud Wood dupe and I would believe you. It smells extremely similar to Oud Wood, which, as you guys know, is one of my absolute favorite fragrances for men. I really love oud fragrances on men. Like, you cannot go wrong with oud on men in my books. You just can't. It's usually, it smells very, very good, but I don't like an animalic, like dirty oud. I don't like the barnyard oud. I like more of a drier oud, like what you would find in Oud Wood from Tom Ford. And I also really like the carved oud from Thameen. That one just smells amazing. So the next one I have here is called Cloudburst, and this one is a dupe of Creed's Himalaya. This is quite similar from memory, from what I remember of Himalaya, but it's not the most interesting Creed in my books, and it's not the most interesting dupe. It is more or less like on the generic side. It's a nice freshie. It's just a nice basic freshie, a little bit citrusy, a little bit like crisp, woody, like that typical kind of men's fresh scent. That's kind of what this smells like. Again, first time I'm smelling them, first impressions for most of them, and for Cloudburst as well. But it smells well done. It's just, okay, for a scent profile like Cloudburst, I probably wouldn't want to pay the Creed price tags, especially now that Creed isn't really Creed anymore. So if you like that sort of scent, this dupe is a good option. And the next fragrance is one of their newer releases, and this one I was really excited about, and this is called Sinful, and it's a dupe of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. So I have it right here. And it has this like really beautiful, it almost smells like amaretto, like that bitter almond with liqueur and cherry. It's very, very warm. Like, it smells like a very warm cherry liqueur, and I actually really love this one. Like, for women, like for myself to wear, this is probably my favorite of the bunch here. My favorite of all of the fragrances from Oakcha is Ludic, for sure, and I've mentioned it in previous videos. I really like Ludic. That one has green tea and leather, and it's a dupe of Eau de Memo. But on second place, I would say, is Sinful. I just really love this combination of cherry and almond. And to be fair, I did smell Lost Cherry quite a while ago. Now that all the stores are closed and I don't actually own a bottle, I don't get a chance to try it, but this smells a lot like what I remember it, except maybe my nose has shifted a little bit, because I actually really, really like this. I have to do a side-by-side of Lost Cherry and this. It smells like it's easier on the nose. Honestly, Tom Ford can be a little bit challenging for me sometimes. I admit it. I struggle with Tom Ford a little bit. This kind of takes the edge off of Tom Ford, and so I know that it's basically blasphemy to say this, but I kind of prefer the dupes over the original Tom Fords. But yeah, I really like the Sinful dupe. Like, it's probably my favorite of all of the, definitely my favorite of all the ones I have here. I'm not sure if it's my favorite of all time. I'll have to try this and Ludic again and then report back. But oh my god, this is just so good. This is the perfect winter scent. Like, when I'm craving a cherry note, this is the perfect cherry note, and like, I'm more than happy just owning the dupe and not going for the original Lost Cherry. Getting the original Lost Cherry for me would be more of like a check mark thing of like adding to my collection, having a Tom Ford and almost like that like from an ego perspective, it would be nice to have a Tom Ford, but from a scent perspective, I am like beyond happy with the Sinful. And the next fragrance, and the last feminine one of the bunch, is called Sweet Addict, and this is a dupe of Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy. Yes, the super hyped Love Don't Be Shy, allegedly Rihanna's signature scent, and also incredibly expensive. The Kilian fragrances are notorious for being very expensive, also very beautiful, but very expensive. This one is a little bit easier on the wallet, and this is the one that I'm doing the side-by-side comparison of. So I do have a sample of Love Don't Be Shy, and I'm wearing it on my right hand, and then I have Sweet Addict on my left hand. So I sprayed it about 4 hours ago. And I will say, I do find Love Don't Be Shy incredibly sweet for my taste. Like, it's not a fragrance that I would personally go for. I find it almost toothache sweet. There's a lot of sugar, there's a lot of caramel, and there's a certain note in there that almost, like, it really does like smell like toothache inducing for me. I think it's like that really pure like sugar smell, very, very dense. And the Sweet Addict smells incredibly similar. I would say it's like 90 to 95% similar, but it doesn't have that same sweetness, that same sharp sugar smell. It's more powdery, and it's almost like a powdered sugar instead of like granular sugar. You know what I mean? It's more soft and marshmallowy. It's a really pretty marshmallowy, sweet orange blossom scent, and I actually really enjoyed wearing this one. The thing is, it's been about 4 hours. They're both quite light at this point. They're both quite a skin scent, so I did expect the longevity to be longer for both of them, but maybe it's only because I sprayed 2 times. So I'll have to wear them both properly and really compare the longevity. But I do kind of prefer the smell of Sweet Addict, only because I'm not a huge gourmand person. I'm not a huge sweet fragrance lover. So this one kind of dials down that sweetness, or maybe just offsets it with a little bit of a like a powderiness. And not powdery like the way that typical powdery fragrances are, just more of, if you can imagine, like marshmallowy and soft and fluffy. That's what I mean. Yes, it's really, really pretty. I guess it's more like if you could think of an orange blossom flavored marshmallow. That's kind of what this smells like, and it's really good. And the last fragrance that I have here is called Ineffable, and this is a dupe of Aventus. Yes, another dupe of Aventus. Yes. And it also smells a lot like Club de Nuit Intense for Men from Armaf. Like, it really smells a lot like it. I mean, what more is there to say? It's an Aventus dupe. It's a good Aventus dupe. It's $40, so you be the judge. I just really don't want to talk about Aventus dupes anymore. There are a lot of them. So that being said, the thing I really love about Oakcha is the fact that most of their dupes are dupes of kind of really rare, hard to find, expensive fragrances. And I can really appreciate that about a brand, is like they focus on that specific kind of category of fragrance. Hard to attain, very luxurious, very typically expensive, and they do an incredible job at replicating them. Objectively speaking, they really do a good job of replicating them. So that's something that you guys are interested to check out. I do have a code for you guys, and it's Yana15, and it'll get you guys 15% off your order. They also have free shipping options worldwide at this point, and I think all their fragrances are priced at $39.95, which is very, very reasonable. They are all seemingly quite long lasting, and my personal favorites of all the ones that I've talked about for women, I would go with Sinful, because it's a really nice, soft, kind of sweet cherry note with a really nice almond, and I do kind of prefer this over Sweet Addict, even though they're both very nice. I would choose Sinful for me personally, but both of these are really nice. So for women, either one of these are great. They also have Baccarat Rouge dupes. I've mentioned them in a previous video. I'm not going to get into it now, but they have a lot of really expensive fragrance dupes. And for men, I would, of all of these, recommend the 1000 AD, which smells like Emerald Agar. Oh my god, it is so good. It is so good. Like, you guys have to check out, if you've not tried Emerald Agar or like anything like it, like definitely check out 1000 AD. It is such a unique, cool blend. And the other one that I would definitely recommend is Torrid Day, because it takes that sweetness off of the Tobacco Vanille and makes it more tobacco centric. And I really, really like how this smells. Like, this really does smell a little bit more masculine, where Tobacco Vanille I find perfectly unisex. This one's a little bit more masculine leaning, and it's just super sexy. So those are my two tops for men, the 1000 AD and Torrid Day, and for women, the Sinful and Sweet Addict. And those are all of the luxury dupes from Oakcha. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope this will help you guys discover some great new fragrances, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.